What's up guys, Alpha Stalin here, back with another video and some more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate speculation, and of course, something this great calls for a special guest, and so today, I've got my good buddy and fellow YouTuber and fellow Shantae for Smash supporter, WreckItRyan.
What's up, guys?
Hey, welcome back to the channel, man. It's great to have you back.
It's great to be here. It's been way too long.
It has been way too long. I agree with you. Animal Crossing New Horizons has kept me very busy and away from my laptop, but man, it's great to be back just doing a video for you guys and doing a video with a great friend and someone who I've been a fan of since I saw his channel back in the day. It has been a crazy last few months with Smash, speculation, and just, of course, the virus situation and just all the craziness that just everything has come to a head. But it's definitely good to just sit down and it's like, let's talk Smash Bros. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. Obviously, we are right on the cusp of having our first Fighters Pass Volume 2 character announced, that being an ARMS rep. And so that is still a big point of contention in the community for who it's going to be. And so I feel like I really want us to start with that and who we think that's going to be. So since you said you want me to start, Ryan, he said my list is more pessimistic, so if you want to start, I was like, hey, if you insist. I have a couple of ideas of who I think we might be getting as our ARMS rep. Of course, everybody's like, well, it can't be Springman, because why would they hype it up this much and show all 15 and it just be Springman? That's a Nintendo thing to do. Nintendo would do something like that. They're the ones that left Waluigi on the sidelines and added a Piranha Plant to Smash. So they'll do whatever they want. And they are the kings of left field, as Arlo says. I'm sorry.
I thought I was going to be the pessimistic one.
But I'm not a big fan of Springman personally, but him getting in would knock down so many fan rules right off the bat. Spirit's deconfirmed. So that would deconfirm or reconfirm a lot of characters that people are asking for, and not only would that be the case for Spirits, it would be that for assist trophies as well, and on a more minor level, Mii costumes, but that's more of the wishy-washy point of the three. But yeah, that would open the doors for Shantae, Rayman, Rex and Pyro, Waluigi, Skull Kid, Isaac. So many characters would just have a chance if Springman got in, and of course that would make sense. He is the mascot. He is the face of the game. He's who everybody really kind of starts with when they start playing. And he's just like the default character in a sense. But there's also another character that is like that. And it's the female variant, essentially, of him, Ribbon Girl. And so I feel like either of these characters could be our rep. And they're both spirits. They're both Mii costumes. Only one of them is an assist trophy. But if either of them gets in, or they have, you know, the alt costume situation, like the male-female alts, like We Fit Trainer, Byleth, etc., they would have both reps that are both spirits. And so you have the male and female, that'd be great, and they'd both be spirits, so that opens the door for speculation even more. People have brought up Min Min. I think that she has a decent chance. Twintel, I think, has a decent chance, but my left field pick that I'm predicting, because no one else is really predicting her, is Dr. Coyle. I have actually done a thread about this in my community tab over on my YouTube channel, and if you have not been checking out my community tab, what are you doing? That's where I post all my stuff, so I don't have to post it on Twitter. But yeah,
go there now.
Huh?
I said go there now.
Yeah, go head there now. Go read that before I even mention this. But yeah, I basically just went on about how I think that she is a likely candidate because, one, she is a female rep. Nintendo has shown they really don't care about that, honestly, and that really should not be the main reason you add a character, but it does help. Great moveset would be a big reason to add it, and I think that she would have a really dope moveset because she can go invisible, she can grow a third arm, she floats, she's able to use these big slow motion arms and stuff. She's definitely one of the more unique members of the ARMS cast, and I just love her design. I love her crazy, wacky personality. She's just like this psycho supervillain. She reminds me of almost like Harley Quinn and a little bit of Dr. Doofenshmirtz and a couple other characters that are just the mad scientist type. And she's just super cool. Like I said, I love her design. She's just, I feel like she would be a cool pick for the ARMS cast, while it would be disheartening that no spirits were deconfirmed, or spirits deconfirming would be shot down. It would be cool to see her because she is among my favorite characters in the cast. Of course, my pipe dream pick is Lola Pop, but that's never going to happen. But I'm a guy who can dream.
You never
know. I mean, yeah, man, if nothing else, I feel like if we get an 8-character alt situation, Lola may very well be one of those, because her body type is pretty much the same. It's just she couldn't inflate. And, of course, the only thing different about her is her pants are poofier. So, I don't really see that as an issue. But if I have to peg one pick, I'm going to say Dr. Coyle, just because everybody else is saying, Springman, Min, Twintail. It's like, nah, man, Dr. Coyle. That's my prediction. So...
yeah,
that
would be a really cool. I'd be very happy with that. Do you think the levitating helps or hurts her chances?
One thing I thought of is that if nothing else, they could at least do like Mewtwo and Cloud, to where she's standing still, she is standing in place, but then when she does her dashes and runs, she starts floating.
That's cool.
And Charizard too. So, but yeah, I feel like that would be a great workaround, and her having a third arm could be a great mid-air and neutral air attack. Her going invisible would be a good dash. It could also be some kind of special. She just has a lot of potential moveset stuff. And of course, she's intertwined very deeply with the lore of ARMS. I mean, she created Headlock, Springtron, and Helix. And she's the villain of the game. So if we don't get the heroes, we could get the villain. And we need more villains. And we need more lady villains. So, I mean, I think she'd be a great fit.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. Do you think Headlock would be her final smash?
I do think so. I think Headlock would definitely be her final smash. I see Sakurai going with a more cinematic attack and then just some basic rush attack. I feel like that would be much more cool and interesting and like flashy like a final smash typically is. So I feel like that would definitely be the go-to, especially since it's her creation. So that would make sense.
Cool, nice.
Now,
I like it.
When we were talking behind the scenes, you said you wanted us to go down our entire list individually first.
Yeah, if you want to, I'm cool with you going through the rest of your list if you want to.
Okay, all right.
6 spots.
Now, any other comments on Dr. Coyle? Your thoughts on her, or my other predictions?
No, of the people who would not have the spirits reconfirm characters idea, I think Dr. Coyle would be one of my favorite ones of that list. That's not the 5 that are currently spirits. So yeah, I'd be happy with that. Yeah,
her and Lola would definitely be my go-to. If they're not spirits, I'll take them characters. I mean, Max Brass is cool, and I like Helix, but I'm just like, I like Coyle. I love Lola, so I feel like those two would just be my go-tos. But I mean, Max is cool. I just feel like he'd be like a long-range Incineroar and Donkey Kong. I want someone different. That's why I don't really want Twintail, because I feel like she'd just be Diet Bayonetta. You know, she's got the slow motion, all that stuff. I mean, and that's the thing. I like Twintail as a character. I just feel like her mechanics, she'd play just like Bayonetta, just not as combo-heavy. So I feel like Sakurai would see that too. And I feel like Min would have a great moveset also. I just feel like maybe they'd go somewhere more out of left field, and Sakurai would be like, okay, we just had a party crash. People are obviously going to think Min's going to be it, so I'm going to pull something crazy and add someone else no one expects. So I can't help but think that Sakurai would do that with Nintendo's permission. So, I mean, it's Sakurai. He added a piranha plant, so, I mean, you never know with him.
True. And to be honest, I mean, in ARMS, there are so many different arms that you can equip.
Yep.
That you could really make any character feel totally unique with the electric arms, the fire, the missile arms, the boomerang. I mean, you could pick anything to fit with most characters and make it work.
There's so much to work with, you really would have to tone it down a lot. Because there's what, 60 arms? Something like that. There's a lot. So, I mean, there's plenty to work with. There's plenty of moveset potential for any one of them. I just think that you would want someone that's more recognizable, iconic / meaning to the story of ARMS than just I don't think Misengo or Bite and Bark would work. I just don't think they have the same, interconnectivity with the lore of ARMS and being the faces of ARMS. So I think they definitely would pick someone that is popular, has great moveset potential, and that would kind of be a what pick that would be surprising, that would still make sense. So that's why I say Dr. Coyle. Like I said, Springman, Ribbon Girl, Min, Twintail, all would be great picks. I just feel like they'd go somewhere that we didn't expect, because I feel like it gets boring with speculation sometimes where it's like, yeah, we know exactly who it is, and then that exact character is the one that gets announced. And it's like, oh, man, that was cool. Who's the next character? I mean, instead of being hyped for this character that we did not expect, instead we're like, oh, yes, my opinion was justified. Now, let me go on to the next character, do the same thing, and wait for that to be confirmed. So I feel like it does get stale sometimes with speculation when all of your predictions are correct. So I would rather go somewhere out of left field, pull a wild card like Dr. Coyle, than just go with the flow of what everybody else is saying. So maybe that'll bite me in the foot. I don't care. I like her. I think she'd be a cool addition. So
Cool.
Now for my second pick, gotta stick with that Nintendo shilling. I think that we're gonna get a Gen 8 Pokemon as well. I have seen Pokemon represented a lot in speculation, and I feel like there are so many great Gen 8 Mons to pick from. It's really hard to narrow it down, but some of my contenders for top spot, if I had to pick just one that I really, really want, I feel like everybody instantly says Rillaboom just because it's a grass type, and I like Rillaboom. It's really cool. I like Cinderace and Inteleon. They're all great. But I would much rather have someone like Toxtricity. I feel like they would be a great pick. You know, they've got tons of personality, just like Incineroar, and I love their design. I love everything about them. I love the typing, and I feel like they would, and we'd finally have a poison-type Pokemon in Smash. I feel like that would set them way apart from Pikachu and Pichu, and them both being electric types. I feel like them being a punk rock poison type would also really play into the way they move, the way they attack, the attacks they use. I just feel like that would be a really cool addition. And they're basically Gen 8's Lucario and Zoroark. And so that's the best thing. It would make perfect sense. And so maybe they picked up on that early, that its personality and its popularity took off so quick, that maybe that was the pick. But you never know with Sakurai. So I do think Rillaboom and the other two starters have good shots as well. Rillaboom would have a really cool rhythm-based moveset, but I feel like someone else like Karate Joe or the Chorus Kids or an amalgamation character from Rhythm Heaven would make more sense as a rhythm character instead of a Pokemon character of all series to get a rhythm-based character. But Rillaboom would be cool. Surfetch, Sword Fighter, we don't need more Sword Fighters in my opinion, unless they're like super unique. And I feel like Duck with Sword Onion does not really count it as much.
Get ready for my list, my friend.
Oh gosh. Oh, I forgot you said it was pessimistic. But I think Urshifu has a good chance. They could play off of its form changes, have like a down special where they don't have to make it exactly canon. They could make it where it has a form change, kind of like Sheik and Samus used to. Or Zelda and Samus, I should say. Zelda is the princess. But yeah, I definitely think that there are a lot of good choices. I've seen people bring up Dracovish and say, Sakurai would do that. I was like, that's true. He would do that, but will he do that? So, you never know. It's...
you never know with him. With Toxtricity, do you think there'd be any significance to the two forms? Do you think it would be a purely cosmetic thing, or would it play into the moveset somehow?
I think that them having fairly different personalities, if nothing else, they'd just be alts. And I think that would kind of be weird, but they could go and make them echoes of each other. Make like amped up the basic character, the base character, and then have low-key form as the Echo Fighter. I don't think that will happen, but if we're going to get more Echo Fighters, that's one I think that would fit really well. And because they're really similar except for their attitude and some of their moveset. Because there's like 2 moves they learn different in the entire game. So I feel like in Smash that would translate super well, and they could just change up some attacks to where maybe Amped Up is more excited in some of its attacks, whereas Low Key is more, methodical and slow moving with some of its attacks. Like instead of flailing, it just kind of swings around just slowly. So I feel like they would definitely... That's one that could definitely benefit from an Echo, but otherwise I think they'd just be alt costumes. So I feel like that is one big downside to having it. Like it's like you kind of lose the personality of one over the other, trying to make them the same character. So almost kind of like how it would be with multiple ARMS characters as alts. So it's not great, but it could be worse. We could get some out there Pokemon as a pick. I don't know, but
They could always do like the two different forms split, like Olimar and Alf, giving you the choice between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Each one gets 4 different colors or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, I would hope the shinies would be one of those too, because it's very subtle and it looks like a Smash alt just being pink. So I mean, it's not that hard. Just do it. Just give us more shiny alts.
I definitely think a Pokemon. I don't have a Pokemon in my list of 6, but it was a close honorable mention, and I would love to see with a Pokemon to have a Pokemon Floats updated stage.
Yes. Oh my
That'd be
goodness.
so
Yes.
good.
That is like the one stage that
That's
I
the
want
one
back.
stage. Exactly.
Mhm.
I've sorely missed that stage, so I would be very. I don't know if they would do that, but that would be such a cool bonus to that.
It really would, man. I feel like this one stage most of the community wants back. And it's kind of gimmicky and hard to play on, but that's the point of it. It's just this
That's the
cute
fun
little
of it.
stage of floating Pokemon. It's just there. And it's there if you want to use it, it's there if you don't. But it's cool and it's random, but it's cool. So yeah. I mean, that's definitely my number one stage to come back. Pac Maze is another one. Because Pac-Land doesn't really do the Pac-Man series justice, in my opinion, for a stage rep. I just feel like the Pac-Maze did it better, but it was a 3DS exclusive, so there's complications with that, I'm sure. But I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Moving on to my third one before I ramble too much longer on the Pokemon rep. I think that a Namco rep is pretty inevitable. We've gotten only Pac-Man, and the entire time that they've been working on the Smash series, which is almost 7 years now. They started working on it back in like 2013, 2014 with Smash 3DS and Wii U. That is crazy. And they still only have one character. And, we still haven't seen the costumes from back in the day, which leaves Heihachi and Lloyd Irving in the spotlight for potential reps. I think Agumon would be a great fit. I mean, Chosen Undead from Dark Souls would be an interesting pick. Dig Dug would be an interesting pick. I mean, there's plenty of Namco characters to pick from, but I feel like, based on what we've seen in speculation and all that, I feel like Lloyd Irving definitely is a top contender, especially with Scott Menville doing some kind of mystery project that he can't talk about. He's under NDA for. And for those of you that don't know, he is the voice actor of Lloyd, and he's also the voice of Robin from Teen Titans. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, and so that is a big thing. And of course, his costume's still missing. Very interesting. Especially when we've gotten other characters from other series like Ubisoft and Sega and Capcom that have come back, but the Namco still aren't, and they've helped make the game. Something's very fishy about that. But I definitely think that at least between Heihachi and Lloyd, someone's going to get in. I would love to see Agumon personally with some kind of like digivolving tactic. That would be super cool, because as a kid, I was a Pokemon guy, but I did love the Digimon anime, and Agumon has always been my favorite. And so I would love to see Agumon get in. I just don't think it's as likely as Lloyd and Heihachi. And mostly, I don't want Heihachi because I suck terribly with the command input fighting game characters like Ryu, Ken, and Terry. I mean, they're cool, and I'm glad they're in Smash. It's just I'm trash with them. I'm so bad at that.
Bother.
Yeah. I mean, and I tried a little bit with Terry, and he's kind of fun, and to me, he's a little bit easier to use, like, without all the complicated stuff like Ryu and Ken. But he's still really technical. And so that's really why I don't want Heihachi. And if I got a Tekken rep, it's kind of dumb, I know, but I love Kuma, the big bear. It's actually Heihachi's pet bear. But I've always used him whenever I play Tekken. I love Kuma.
That would be great.
Yeah, it's just like we just have a bear in Smash, not a cartoony bear, just a bear, a grizzly bear. But yeah, that would be my Tekken pick, in case you're curious. But yeah, there's definitely plenty of Namco reps they could pick. Oh, Klonoa. Klonoa skipped my mind. But yeah, Klonoa would be cool. I don't know a whole lot about anybody aside from Heihachi and Agumon, but I feel like there would be some really good picks. But I do think Lloyd is definitely the front runner for the Namco rep, or the hypothetical Namco rep.
Yeah. That's a good pick.
Number 4, I definitely think is still kind of up in the air, but it's interesting how we've gotten Ubisoft characters as costumes, and this guy was not part of them. I do think Rayman still stands a pretty good shot of getting in. It's so weird that we got Rabbids and Assassin's Creed costumes with not even a Rayman hat. It's just so weird. I mean, it would make sense to give even just a little hat where like his mouth encompasses your head like the Rabbids did, but we didn't even get that. So why did we do that? But at the same time, why would we go ahead and get Ubisoft costumes before we ever got Rayman instead of having them presented alongside him? So there's several different points you could make about that. But I definitely think him being a fan favorite, him having close ties to Nintendo, Ubisoft and Nintendo being fairly close, and I think he'd be a really cool character. He's got plenty to work with. You know, the lack of limbs is a big play in his favor because he'd basically just be a cartoonier ARMS character with no arms, surprisingly enough. I think that he would be really cool, and I really do not have any experience with him, sadly, aside from Rayman Raven Rabbids, and so I played, it was either Origins or Legends, I played the demo, but he's definitely a really cool character, and I like his personality. I think he'd have a really good moveset, and just his fan base is huge. I would just love to see him come into Smash.
Yeah, I think you looked at my list before. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I think that would be. Well, I don't want to spoil my picks, but yeah, I totally agree with you.
Now for number 5, you know she had to be on the list. Yes, I'm still hoping and dreaming. I'm gonna say Shantae because I'm not gonna give up hope, guys. I'm telling you, it is definitely suspicious how she's going to be getting a Fangamer plush, a Tutaku figure, and a Funko Pop in the same year. And, of course, her newest game is out, Seven Sirens, so her getting in could help advertise that. I mean, she is one of the indie darlings of Nintendo. She is one of the most popular indie characters in the Smash community alongside Shovel Knight, Reimu, Steve, technically kind of not, Hollow Knight. There's so many great indie characters that I think would make a great character. And, of course, I campaigned hard for Shovel Knight before he got deconfirmed. But, man, she's still my dream pick. Like, I would love Sora and I would love Master Chief, but even if they got in, I still feel like Smash would just be missing that little special something if she was not in the roster. So I'm still predicting Shantae. I know it's wishful thinking and it's just maybe too optimistic for my own good, but hey, I already had my heart broken once. I can stand it again. It's just holding on to hope, guys. I mean, what's the point of speculating if you can't have some fun and have some hopes? I mean, that's what we're here for. So
I like it. Yeah, I like I talked about in my video, just the merchandise that it really does seem very fishy that it's this much at this time.
And it's such a fast pace too, man. It's
the same companies that Banjo, I don't know, something just seems a little bit up with that.
The only thing that she doesn't have is a Stubbins plush like Banjo did, but everything else. Oh, and he got a Stubbins, she got a Funko, but everything else, I mean,
We'll keep our eye.
Yeah, I want to see a Banjo-Kazooie Funko Pop now. Come on, Rare, get on that.
People have tried to make one, but there isn't an official Funko Pop for him yet.
Yeah, which, hey, they make some random ones, so I would hope that they pick him. That would be a good one. And to round it off, I think you will appreciate this one, Ryan. I think that we will see plenty of Nintendo characters in this pass, whether it's newcomers, spirits upgraded, or whatever. But the way that Sakurai talked up Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and the Rex costume, I really do think that Rex and Pyra still have a pretty decent chance of getting in as characters, because Sakurai is a massive fan of the series and a massive fan of this game in particular, and the way he talked them up, I can't help but feel that maybe he put a bug in Nintendo's ear, and of course they saw the continued support for them in the Smash community, and them being from a series that is currently only represented in playable status by Shulk. I feel like they could still stand a chance, and them being not just a sword user, which of course swordsman, but it will be such a unique take on a sword fighter because of, the whole drive mechanic and the different power-ups and stuff, where Pyra could actually help attack and stuff. So it'd be like a tag team sword fighter kind of with fire and stuff. And I'm a fire guy. I love fire. So I feel like that would be really cool. And then of course you can incorporate Mithra and the third one whose name escapes me at the moment. And you could just have all kinds of cool stuff in this moveset. And while I personally haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles at all and don't personally have the desire to. I do think that they would be a really cool addition to the roster.
That hurts me so much.
I've got to pick my games, man. I'm learning that my backlog keeps getting bigger and bigger, and like I said already, Animal Crossing has eaten up so much time lately.
That's the thing, because even with all this time off, I haven't like chipped away at my backlog at all because of Animal Crossing.
Right?
Yes. All my time.
That is my problem
I have to
too.
play other games.
Yep. It's like, well,
my villagers need me, but
yeah, I've picked up Pokemon for the first time since Animal Crossing came out today at lunch on my lunch break at work to get the Galarian Corsola with its hidden ability, just so I could have the hidden ability, because I was like, I am not trying to hunt this thing down on the GTS because I got Sword, so it doesn't even show up in there. So yeah, I
me too.
went ahead and got
that. Yeah.
And also,
I'm excited for the DLC though. That'll be good.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about that. I'm hopefully optimistic about it, I have to say. The trailers look really cool, and the new Pokemon looked really cool. Excited to try out the Reggies and stuff, but I'm just waiting on Stoutland to come back, because he should have been there to start with, but I digress. But yeah, that's my list. I do have a few honorable mentions. Yeah, that was 6.
So what was your 6 again?
Dr. Coyle, Toxtricity, Lloyd Irving, Rayman, Shantae, and Rex and Pyra.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. So you're 3. Is that 3 first party, 3 third party?
Yep.
Okay.
That's kind of intentional, but kind of not. I don't know who would end us off. I mean, you could interchange anybody with like a big, hard-hitting final third party or final first party. I mean, I feel like if we were going big first party, Waluigi would make a lot of sense. If we're talking about big third parties, obviously Sora, Master Chief, Kratos, Doom Guy, just crazy out there picks. But some honorable mentions I have that I think would also make good contenders. Crash Bandicoot, just default choice that everybody says. I do think that him being a rival to Mario and Sonic back in the day does have a lot of play in whether or not he'll get in. Plus, he's just a cool character. He's just a goofy, weird guy, and he's just got tons of personality, tons of charm. His series is just iconic and a classic. And though I despise the first one terribly, the rest of the series, from what I've started of the second game, has actually been pretty fun. And like I said, though the first game just made me madder than most games do, I really do like Crash, and I think that he have a really good moveset, and we could even have Coco as an alt costume. That'd be really cool. And my other honorable mention is Geno. I really think Geno has a chance, if not being a playable character, at least being an upgraded Mii costume, because why else would they start taking down Into the Forest Maze and this other song? Why in the world would they, of all songs, 2 songs, just like Cloud gets 2 songs, each Dragon Quest character gets 2 songs, and I don't have to really reiterate on this because Papa Genos has talked about this plenty over on his channel because, he is a Geno boy. I feel like he really does have a decent chance. It's just Square in the way, and Nintendo not possibly wanting to jump through the hoops. So I think he has a chance still, especially if Springman or Ribbon Girl gets in and, reconfirming spirits. I just don't know if he's as set in stone as some people think he is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree.
All right, but that is my list. Ryan, if you would like to continue with yours.
Cool. Well, I think we actually have quite a bit of overlap. So maybe I'm not as well. I mean, I do like the characters that I have on my list, but this is definitely not a wish list for me. I'm trying to be like as realistic and objective as possible. So in some ways, I'm being pessimistic, as you'll see. My list has 4 third-party characters and 2 first-party characters.
Okay.
And I think all the third parties will be from new, unrepresented series, which I mean they don't have playable fighters currently.
Okay.
All the characters will have a central mechanic or a gimmick that's new and fresh and makes them stand out, as per Sakurai's own words. Mm-hmm. And here's where I get very pessimistic. Chris, get ready for this. I think all of them, unfortunately, will be male, and will fight with a sword or their fists.
Oh, that
I know,
hurts.
I know, I know. I'm just being as objective as possible. I think they're all going to be male, and they're all going to be sword fighters or fist fighters.
Well, hey, most of mine were fist fighters or sword fighters anyway, so
So hey, I mean,
Rayman is
just
only fists.
exactly. So so my arms fighter, which of course is a fist fighter. So for arms, I've been losing sleep over this because I go back and forth every single day about who I think is the most likely person or people to get in. I do think it's interesting that ARMS was released on June 16th, 2017. So it's possible that we get the announcement of who it is on June 16th of this year.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think that's typically a trend for Sakurai and his team to do that. I think he did it for one or two characters before, but it's possible, I guess. I definitely do think we'll know in the next week or maybe 2 weeks. But I think we will know very soon. Springman and Ribbon Girl, like you said, they're basically the Mario and Luigi of ARMS. Min Min, she won the Party Crash Bash. Based on every poll I've seen out there, she's the most popular. And Twintel is another popular choice. A big thing people say in her favor, which I think is interesting, is that she has regular arms that can, hold items, and then she has her hair arms that are, while she's holding items, they could be freed up to do special moves and grabs. Although I'm wondering, I don't think you can grab someone while you're holding an item, right? Because you just throw the item.
Right. Yeah. You drop the item. Yep.
Because I think the big new mechanic for ARMS character will be you can grab from a distance, like you do in ARMS when you fling both Joy-Cons and it shoots out this lit up green arms that grab the person. So I think the grab will be like a tether grab, but instead of the tether where you bring them to you, you would go to them.
Yeah.
And you would travel towards them with invincibility or super armor or something, and then you would meteor smash them instead of beating them up. You would just grab them and then throw them down or something. So you could grab someone who's trying to get back onto the stage, and then you'd meteor stats. So which I think would be so. It'd be so. I don't know. It'd just be so satisfying to pull that off.
Yep.
It's almost like Byleth's up B, except it's more lateral. I don't know. I just thought that would be super cool.
That's
to have
cool,
that
but
in.
so scummy. But it sounds so cool.
It is very scummy. Yes, but man, that would feel so good to pull that off. But,
Eat your heart out, little Mac. You really can't recover now.
yeah. Exactly. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think Twintel is like the fact that she has regular arms to hold items. I don't think that's going to matter because the big mechanic with the arms, I think, will be the grabbing part of it. And if you're just doing a special move with one of the arms, the other one can hold the item or something. So I don't think that favors her any more than just her being a popular choice. But all that being said, I think the person is going to be Max Brass.
Oh, okay.
He's literally the champion of ARMS. You would get his arena as the stage, that the gold arena that he is the boss fight for the original ARMS before he was a character. And then his move, his kind of special move would be his ability to buff up. So you would use, just throwing out there, you'd use his down B, let's say, to buff up and increase his size. So he'd literally get bigger when you did his down B, and then he would gain super armor, or maybe this would be a passive ability to getting a certain amount of damage. So it would be kind of like Lucario, where you're gaining damage, you're getting stronger, but for him you're actually getting bigger, and it would be a defensive buff instead of an offensive buff. Like Lucario does more damage, but Max Brass would maybe take less damage the more damage he has. So I think there's some room for some cool things with him specifically. And then, like I said before, there's so many arms you could pick from with the, just a I don't know. You could pick any of the 60 arms out there to spruce up his moveset. But
Oh yeah,
that's who I've landed on, man. But I've been back and forth. I think it's very possible we get Spring Man and Ribbon Girl, each with 4 costumes, like a Olimar Alf situation. We get Spring Man, Ribbon Girl, Min Min, and Ninjara, or Min Min twins. I don't know how they would do it, but I think there's a whole bunch of possibilities. But I will stick with Max Brass because he's a male and he fights with his fists.
I definitely think he's very likely. I did downplay him in my predictions list, but him being the champion of the game is really heavy in his favor, I think.
That's what I ultimately landed on, was that he's literally the champion of the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I go tomorrow. If you ask me, I'd probably say somebody else. But right now, I'm saying Max Brass.
So you're saying the main hero, and I'm saying the main villains. That's interesting. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I love it. So that's my first party character. My second first party character is Rex.
Okay.
And as you said, Sakurai has acknowledged that he's a popular choice. When the Mii Fighter costume was announced, he recognized that people really like Xenoblade 2. Anecdotally, he also played the game, which I think you mentioned. He really enjoyed the game. He really enjoyed Persona 5, and that's not to say that's a shoo-in for a character getting in because he just liked the game, but it doesn't hurt for sure. Some people view the Rex Mii costume as a negative. They say, like, oh, because there's the Mii costume, like, then the people who got the Mii costume would be upset. No, they wouldn't. They would love to have Rex as a playable character if they like Rex. So I think it's a positive. Like, Spring Man as a Mii costume assist trophy, they recognize there's desire there. It was too late in development to fully flesh them out, but they wanted to get them in somehow. And for Rex, the central mechanic, I think, would be to switch between Pyra and Mithra. Maybe even other blades, but definitely Pyra and Mithra. And it would be kind of like a mix between Joker and Pokemon Trainer, where you could switch between Pyra and Mithra. That kind of like they stand in the background, and based on what situation you're in, you can power yourself up accordingly with fire moves, with holy moves. So I think it would be really cool. I mean, I would, of course, I love Xenoblade Chronicles 2. His final smash would be Numa is the. I guess we're not talking spoilers anymore, but spoiler, that's the third form for them. So
okay.
I think that would be really, really cool just to have him in there. Of course, it's a sword fighter, but like I said, I think they're all going to be sword fighters or fist fighters, and I would be very happy with Rex. That would not bother me at all.
I definitely think he's a shoo-in, especially as far as first-party characters go, because the Fandom Man's still there. He's a very underrepresented series in Smash, and as we've seen before with other series like Kid Icarus, they continue to add on to that series later, and so maybe in the same game they'll start doing that now. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, and I think Elma is possible too, but I think Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is more where everybody's head's at right now. They could pull someone from the DLC. I know people have thrown out, why not pick Jin or Laura or someone, but I do think it'll be Rex, and I do think it'll just be Rex. I don't think it'll be necessarily Rex and Pyra when you select a character, because I think you'll be able to switch between Pyra and Mithra interchangeably as you want to, like Pokemon Trainer.
Okay.
So I'm going with Rex for my second pick.
Now, what would you say is the main difference in the moveset that there would be between him using Pyra and him using Mithra?
That's a really good question. I mean, because they're both offensive characters. As far as I know, I beat the game, and I don't remember them having any sort of heal moves or any particularly defensive moves. Mithra has some different moves in the Torna DLC when you use her, but with Rex using that, I think outside of like the elemental aspect, they would probably spruce it up a little. Or one, maybe Mithra has a little bit more range. Pyra is maybe a little bit more close combat. But it'd be really cool to see what they do with that.
Okay.
So my third choice, now we're into third parties. So my first third party character is Rayman. I totally agree with you. Ubisoft having no playable characters right now is crazy to me. Now that I think about it, like you said, we have all these spirits out there. We have Rayman, Rabid Mario, Rabid Peach, Rabid Kong, Altair as a sword fighter costume, the Rabid's hat as a costume piece, but nothing Rayman in terms of a costume or Mii fighter. I think that Rayman is definitely high up there. I've definitely meditated on this list a lot. I do think he is one of the most likely to get in. He'd have a really cool moveset. I mean, you could use his, I'd assume probably like the helicopter hair thing for his up B, the winding fist for a charging B kind of thing. So there are a lot of cool things they could do with him, besides the amiibo, which would be a pain in the butt to manufacture. I think he's too iconic not to be in there. So yeah, I'm pretty confident with that pick.
Yeah, I've seen people actually use the amiibo argument against him as a reason why he's not going to get it. I'm like, guys, they can render him some way where he's seated, where he's got his arms crossed, he's got one like chin resting, like the L on his chin, and his other hand's resting on his hip. They can do something to make it work. I mean, that hasn't stopped them before. I mean, you look at other amiibo where like the whip on Simon is like everywhere, and then of course who can forget the yellow stand that Link was on for the longest time. So I mean, they make it work. Yeah. Sometimes not in the best ways, but they make it work.
That's ugly. I don't know why they did yellow on that one. That bothered me to know it. But yes, they could do clear acrylic plastic and make it work.
Yep.
But yeah. But hey, he's a guy and he's a fist fighter, so he fits my criteria. So my fourth character is it's gonna sound familiar, but I'm totally on board with you that we need another Bandai Namco rep. I mean, they're the lead developer of the game, for goodness sake, and they only have freaking Pac-Man after all this time.
Which is a good rep to have. It's just we need more.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love Pac-Man, but I actually think there are going to be 2 Namco reps in this Fighter's Pass. So I have 2 Namco reps in this 6. And so this first one is going to be Heihachi. I think Heihachi Mishima will be in this Fighter's Pass almost undoubtedly. And trust me, I don't have any ties to this game. Unfortunately, I've actually never played a Tekken game.
Really?
Which is crazy. I know, it's crazy, but I have not played a Tekken game. I've been Nintendo all my life, and I haven't touched any. I would love to play a Tekken game and try it out, but I was just researching into it, and I mean, like, Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, Street Fighter, Tekken is a massive fighting franchise up there with the likes of them, and I know it has a huge following, and so I think it would kind of be like a Terry pick. Like, once he was, I don't know if everybody was really predicting him from the onset, but once it was leaked that he could be one of the new characters, I think everybody was like, okay, I get this. This makes sense. Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, they're huge franchises. Sakurai respects them. It makes sense. And, well, to say, Nintendo's picking the characters, and I'm sure they recognize this as well. I know Heihachi's also a guest fighter in Soul Calibur, which is really cool. So you get that Link, that Link with Link, and you get some crossplay there.
That'd be cool if they actually reference that in his reveal trailer if he gets in.
That would be very cool. Yep, that's what I was going to say. I think that would be really cool to have him in there somehow, and then just to call back and have some Soul Calibur characters in the background or involved in the fight somehow. That would be really, really cool. That'd be a huge throwback. I know there are other big Tekken characters out there too. Jin, Kazuya, Yoshimitsu. I know there's other people out there, but if you pick one, like a Terry, like a Ryu, I think you'd pick Heihachi. And like you said, I think you said the Mii fighter. He was a Mii fighter in Smash 4, nowhere to be found in Ultimate. That's super fishy to me.
Yep.
It's very fishy.
Especially
So,
with it being one of the companies that is working on the game to still
yeah,
be absent 2 years later.
yeah,
It's really weird.
very weird. So, yep, he's another guy. He's a fist fighter, but I do think he will be there. So my fifth fighter is, so this is my second Namco rep, and I think it will be, and I honestly not decided between these two, but it'll be Yuri Lowell or Lloyd Irving from Tails. And because just thinking about it, Tails is basically the third biggest RPG series in Japan, behind probably Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. Like it's a massive franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we're going with Lloyd Irving. Although I really like Yuri from Tales of Vesperia, but Lloyd Irving, Tales of Symphonia is probably the most nostalgic, the most recognizable of all of them. And hey, two swords are better than one, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
I don't think we have a. Do we have a dual wielding sword katana fighter like that?
Aside from Pit, occasionally, no. Or Pit and
okay.
or Pit.
Yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's different from them. So it'll be unique in that aspect at least.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So that's good. I think his kind of gimmick or mechanic would be using the over limit from his game. So basically, as he gets hit, he gains I think they're called tension points, and so the tension points will go away over time if he doesn't get hit. But if you reach a certain amount of points, you get a black aura, which means you get reduces the damage you take. You prevent getting staggered. You reduce casting time of his special moves. So I think it'd be different because it's not quite the same as Little Mac. It's not quite the same as Lucario and other people who get powered up over time. And you'd get reduced damage intake. You wouldn't be staggered from. You get maybe some super armor, and maybe maybe if he's casting some spells as special moves, they wouldn't take as long there wouldn't be as much starting lag with the special moves. So I think there's some cool things they could experiment with him. And again, that's another Mii fighter in Smash 4 that is currently absent from Ultimate.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fishy.
Very fishy, yes. And I know I ragged on the sword fighters as a whole a minute ago, but what main thing I meant is I just don't want someone that just uses a sword. I want someone like Lloyd who is unique, like Sora who is unique, and whether a dual wielder, a mage / sword fighter, kind of like Robin, I just want a sword fighter that isn't just a sword fighter. They have more to offer than just swing sword around fast. So, I mean...
I'm being a little facetious, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is you could definitely do a lot with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
But I am being facetious, but I'm also being a little bit cynical as well. And so my last pick is I guess not too exciting, but it's another guy and it's another sword fighter. It's Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden. So this is actually another company I'm very surprised has no representation as far as playable fighters, being Koei Tecmo. I think all they have is Yuri from Fatal Frame, and then I think there's another support spirit with 2 characters in it, but that's literally all they have. So I think that's another, just if Nintendo's picking the characters, they have all these big companies that they publish and develop with all the time. They know who's out there. They're talking with reps from these companies. And I think it's just odd that some of them are completely absent in playable, and they'd like to use this as advertising and clout for those companies. So I think Ryu Hayabusa could be cool. Again, this is not my wish list. I'm being cynical and facetious here, but he could use stealth and acrobatics, kind of like a mix of Greninja and Sheik, but would use his dragon sword for the majority of his moves. And it would be cool. Wouldn't be my first choice, but I do think he is very likely. So that's why he's in my 6.
You don't really hear his name come up much anymore.
It's
feel
interesting.
like,
not as much as it used to. Yeah,
because for a while there, everybody had him pegged as a guaranteed to happen character, and then he never did. And it was just like, well, there goes that. That ship has sailed. But I definitely think he would be a cool character. He definitely is not one of my most wanted, but he definitely is just... I mean, he has a lot of history with Nintendo, being just a mainstay on the NES, just like Mega Man, just like Simon Belmont. I feel like he would be a really cool pick. That would make a lot of sense. It's weird that they don't, like you said, we don't have Ninja Gaiden, but we have Fatal Frame, of all things, as representation.
That's really weird.
Yeah, but I definitely think he would be cool. I actually do have a little bit of history with Ryu, because I played Dragon, I think it's called Dragon Sword for the DS, where he fights Ishtaros and some other gods and goddesses. I forget the actual name of it, game. But I think that's what it's called, Dragon Sword, something dragon. But it was pretty good. It was tough as nails, but it was cool. Because it was kind of like Kid Icarus Uprising, from what I've heard, where you had to turn the DS sideways.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, wow, this is weird. But I beat the game. I was happy. I was very proud of myself. I was very proud of myself.
Feel very accomplished. Besting the control scheme.
Yeah, it was such a different experience, but man, it was a rush. It was crazy.
Cool.
But yeah, he just looks cool. He looks cool.
He does have a cool aesthetic.
Yep.
So those are my 6 realistic slots: Max Brass, Fist Fighter; Rex, Sword Fighter; Rayman, Fist Fighter; Heihachi, Fist Fighter; Yuri or Lloyd, Sword Fighter; Ryu, Sword Fighter.
A lot of diversity there.
There you go.
Yep.
So, and I guess I could say my honorable mentions too. Of course, Shantae. It kills me that my list of 6. I'm actually hoping that because she's not in my list of 6, that she will get in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying something a little new, some reverse psychology. But of course she's going to be there. A Pokemon, I would say Urshifu is the most likely, but Toxtricities, I had that written down too. I had Phoenix Wright written down.
Okay.
Capcom rep, Ace Attorney. He's already in another fighting game. I think that would be pretty easy to translate him, be a unique fighter. Objection.
Yeah, Phoenix is cool. I like Phoenix.
Yeah. I had Dante in there. I know he's a popular one. People throw out all the time. Travis Touchdown. No More Heroes is coming out later this year. I know a lot of people want him in there. Leon Kennedy, Resident Evil. I had Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. I don't know how likely that is. And then Geno, Sora, Crash, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough to get down to 6. And I had to cut, of course, my favorite Shantae from that. So it was very tough, but I had to be cynical and realistic and as objective as possible on this one.
Yeah, I definitely tried to keep it hopeful, but realistic. And that's the thing, I was just being completely honest with all of my picks, because it's like, I feel like Pokemon is inevitable. I feel like a Namco rep's inevitable. And then Rex and Pyro were kind of the wish character. Coil was kind of the wild card pick. And then Shantae was just like, it could happen. And Rayman's kind of like, it should happen. So, I mean, but yeah, I'm surprised how short my honorable mentions were compared to yours. Because with that, I would love to put Sora on there, but he's such a long shot at this point. But you never know. We got Cloud, so you never know.
Yeah, that's true. So were you saying Thanos for Smash? I am inevitable. That would be very funny.
Unless we got Jonesy in and he was an alt costume now.
Oh gosh. Yeah, notice how I did not have Jonesy or Steve on my list.
Yeah, I was tempted to put Steve, and I was like, why am I going to put him on here? I don't want him in Smash. So
he will be a me sword fighter.
Yeah,
I am very sure of that.
Yeah, I still think that costume. I do. And if the leaks are anything to go by, we might be getting a Hollow Knight me costume. That would be pretty cool. So,
yeah, I think the Knight would be really cool.
Yeah, I prefer an actual character, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Just how the trend is going with Sans and then Cuphead.
Yep.
The Knight, I really do think he's going to be the next one that we get for some reason. And then Quote could be a gunner. You know, you could go on with the aids. And that's the thing I was saying, like, Shantae just does not translate to a me. I think you were the first one to say that. Like, she just does not translate to a me fighter at all.
Yeah, and I feel like even Shovel Knight would, as a sword fighter. You just have him hold the middle of his sword and just swing it like a sword. I mean, or the middle of his shovel and swing it like a sword.
That's a good point.
yeah.
Yeah, that could work. Shantae just does not work.
Yeah,
It just does not make sense. A gunner, maybe. I don't see it at all.
maybe a brawler because of the first game, but even that's a stretch because you take out four
Right.
other games worth of movesets. So
I know. It's
Yeah.
just like the other character. It works for Sans and Cuphead because you get the majority of their personality through. Like they're not missing. Of course, you could really flesh out their moveset if you wanted to, but it's not like they're missing a central feature of the character. For Shantae, I mean, if you make her a Mii fighter, you're not getting transformations. You're not getting even hair whipping. My gosh, I mean,
Yeah.
you're totally crapping on the character's legacy.
Yep.
It just doesn't make sense.
And honestly, like the way they did, I've talked about this several times now, and I probably mentioned it to you before, but I love the Gaster Blaster as Sans' hand. That's brilliant. And then, of course, Cuphead, most of his moveset in the games looks very similar to actually how the Mii Gunner outfit costume moveset is. It just, like, he's got the little bomb, just like in the game. Several of his multi-blast attacks look like his in-game gun attacks and stuff. It's a really cool matchup. And so, I mean, I feel like we could even get more like maybe Freddy Fazbear as a brawler. I mean, that would be crazy. I mean, I wouldn't mind it one bit because I actually do kind of like FNAF. But yeah, I definitely think Hollow Knight, Shovel Knight, Quote, and some other indies could definitely get the treatment and then have it all come up with Shantae at the end as a playable character. But that's the pipe dream. But hey, that's what we speculate for. It's for fun. It's just so we can do it. I mean, it's a...
Yes, exactly.
But I feel like honorable mentions. I'd mention Sora. But yeah, I feel like Geno is definitely like the big honorable mention I could dwell on because I feel like there's so much just. It's same thing with Rayman. Same thing with the Namco reps. It's just like there's so much stuff that's pointing to something happening. It's like, where's the costumes? Why is the music being taken down? So why are there costumes for this series when there's not even a playable character for this series? Just a lot of odd stuff going on, and it's just... I feel like Geno's definitely one... And like I said, even if he's nothing more than an upgraded Mii costume, it would still fit pretty well, and that would explain the Beware the Forest Maze going down. So...
Yeah, that is very strange.
Is that what it's called? Beware the Forest Maze?
Gosh,
Into the Forest Maze...
think-
Something Forest.
Something Forest Maze.
But,
Gosh, I can't remember.
But yeah, you have any other comments? Any other predictions? I do want to kind of go over my wish list real quick if you want to go over yours.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. My wish list is still, of course, Shantae, Sora, and Master Chief. Those three would just... If I got those three, I don't care who else gets them. We can get Jonesy Steve and anybody else. I don't care as long as I get those three. Rayman. I would say Crash Bandicoot as well. And, of course, I feel like Waluigi just kind of deserves it at this point. It's like, yeah, he's been set at the sidelines for so long, but, man, what a crazy final reveal that would be if it was actually the Wah himself. I mean, and, of course, as one of the first parties that's still like a huge fan demand, I feel like he would make a lot of sense as one of the big first party reveals. So of course Rex and Pyra as well, but
Hey.
yeah. But I definitely think my predictions are always going to revolve around Chief, Sora, and Shantae. I mean that's the three I want the most, and the most likely is the one everybody is like, oh, that's never going to happen, Shantae. But hey, a guy can dream, man. All three of them probably won't get in, but hey,
We're used to it at this point. We've built up a very thick skin to all haters and doubters out there. It
like,
just bounces right off.
Yep.
Say what you will. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess now I have to totally switch gears because I've been so cynical this whole time. But my wish list is Shantae from Pirate's Curse. No. No, it would be Shantae, probably Twin Tail if I could have my pick for arms. Rillaboom for Pokemon, Rex, of course. And I'd probably pick Geno and Sora for my last two. But I would be beyond happy with just having Shantae in there.
Yeah.
And Rex. I really want Rex in there too. Anybody else, I'd be happy with anything.
Yeah. And as the arms rep, I forgot Wishlist. Duh. Lola Pop. I would love Lola, obviously.
Yeah, that's right.
Either her or Coil would be great.
I would really like Coil. I'd be very happy with her. But the only problem with that is that it doesn't reconfirm spirits.
Right.
But like I said, I mean, of the characters that wouldn't, I'd be really happy with her.
Mm-hmm. Which they may just be saving that rule breaking for someone like Rayman. You never know. I mean, so
I know that's true. They could. I mean, that's a good point because I guess I had Rayman in there. I don't know if any of the other picks I had were spirits already. Rex is a spirit, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's a spirit, and of course he's the costume,
Mm-hmm.
the Rayman. But Heihachi, Lloyd Irving, Ryu Hayabusa, I don't think they're spirits.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, so either way, we're banking on the spirit rule being a dumb rule. That's not a thing.
Yep. And I thought it's been a dumb rule for a little while now.
Oh yeah, I thought the first time someone said that, I said, "What the heck are you talking about?"
Mm-hmm. And it's sad that, you know, and if I may get up on my high horse right here for a minute, I feel like so often we take this so seriously. I mean, guys, it's a video game. There's no reason to insult somebody's intelligence, insult their family, insult them over a video game. It's like, guys, let's just have fun. If you don't like Shantae, Sora, Master Chief, I almost said Thanos. I got Thanos on the... He is inevitable. Shantae, Sora, Master Chief, Rayman, Crash, Geno. It's okay. You don't have to like the character. Just don't hate on somebody else who does. I don't want Steve Jonesy or Travis Touchdown, but I'm not going to go bash their fans for wanting them. So, I mean, let's just all be Smash fans and just be happy for the people when the character gets revealed. Lick our wounds if our character doesn't get in, and just move on, because I really do not... I get really flustered with speculation at this point, because it's like, you can't have any fun. You can't say anything for the fear of just getting lambasted. Everybody's saying, oh, they're a spirit. Oh, that'll never happen. Oh, they're Disney. Oh, they're Microsoft. And it's just like these continuous gatekeepers just coming up over and over. And it's like, guys, Cloud, Ridley, King K. Rool, Banjo and Kazooie, Bayonetta, rules have been broken before. Sakurai can break them anytime he wants. It's just, let us have our fun. And that goes for anybody I've been ticked at before too. It's just because I know I've been just as guilty as gatekeeping, but it's just, I feel like that's something we really need to work on in the Smash community, is just, let's just have fun. Because it's a game. It's a game we all love. It's a game we all cherish. It's just such a light in the gaming community as far as gaming goes, because it's all these worlds combined into one massive crossover of epic proportions that'll never happen again. So let's enjoy it. And let's enjoy it together. Now I'll get off my high horse.
I could not agree more. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Could not agree more.
All right. Well, that's all I've got, if that's all you've got, man.
That's all I've got, my friend.
Well, again, Ryan, thank you so much for coming back to the channel, man. Really appreciate you having you back. It's great to talk to you again, and great to do another video together, man.
It was really fun, man. Thanks for having me on, and I'm so glad we did this, because I don't know if your viewers know this, but we attempted to record I think it was a post either E3 or Nintendo Direct, probably 6+ months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was after Nintendo Direct. We did this long discussion, probably an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours long, and it was so good. It was such a great discussion that we had, and the recording got corrupted and we couldn't upload it, and we were so bummed. I was
so bummed, man. And so
so I hope I didn't just jinx this, because we haven't actually saved the freaking recording yet, but yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm so glad we got to do this.
Yeah, man, of course, anytime. And of course, as always, subscribe to both of us if you enjoyed the video. Go check out Ryan, show him some love. He actually just recently made another video about Shantae's chances for Smash, and he talked about, you know, the new figure she's getting in the new game and all the different stuff about the instant transformations. And so go check out that video, especially because it's a great one. And I've got plenty more coming on the way. Of course, Animal Crossing has been eating up my time, but I have a lot of Animal Crossing videos I want to do, some Smash stuff I want to do. maybe even some Pokemon stuff I want to do. So I've got lots of plans, of course. Hope you guys are staying safe. Thank you guys as always for tuning in. And until next time, guys, God bless, and thanks for watching.